Hello everyone, this is a rotation guide for Power Boon Chronomancer by TipCat, which can be found on the Snowcrow's website. Links will be in the description. This build and rotation is used to provide quickness or alacrity depending on if you take Seize the Moment for quickness or Stretch Time for alacrity in the Grandmaster trait of Chronomancer. These traits make it so that whenever you cast a Phantasm or use a Shatter skill, you generate boons around yourself. The base of this rotation is easy to follow, but the build has a high learning curve and can be difficult to master. I'll just be focusing on the basics for this guide. When on Dagger, we want to start with Sword 5, Dagger 2, then Dagger 3. We auto attack or use utility skills until Dagger 2 is ready again. We finally finish off with Sword 5, Dagger 3 and then Dagger 2 before swapping into Greatsword. When on Greatsword, we follow another simple skill order. We use Greatsword 4, 2, then 3. We auto attack or use utility skills until Greatsword 2 is ready again. Then as our skills come off cooldown, we use Greatsword 5 to proc Relic of the Fireworks, followed by skill 3, Greatsword 4, Signet of the Ether, Greatsword 4 again, and then Greatsword 2. Continuum split is an important part for burst damage and quick boon application. When entering Continuum split, we want to make sure that we have 2 clones active so that it lasts long enough. This is usually done by using Dagger 2, then swapping to Greatsword and using Greatsword 2. With our 2 clones active, we cast Greatsword 4. During the cast, we enter Continuum split, followed by our 2 wells. We then use Signet of the Ether to reset our Phantasms, using Greatsword 4 again, followed by 3 and 2. While in Continuum split, we use our shatters freely to generate quickness or alacrity. General things to remember are to always use Well of Action, Calamity and Gravity Well off of cooldown, and when it comes to shatters, we always want to use F1 time sync when we have 3 clones. And if using Relic of the Firework, we want to time our F2 rewinder to upkeep the damage bonus. If not using the Relic of the Firework, F2 can be used to shatter all spare clones. Putting everything together, it should look like this. We start with Continuum split for a large burst of damage and boons. Begin with Sword 5, Dagger 3 and 2, swap to Greatsword using Greatsword 2. We then use Greatsword 4 as we enter Continuum split, followed by our 2 wells, Signet of the Ether to reset our Phantasms, and then Greatsword 4 again, followed by 3 and 2. In Continuum split, I used F1 and F2 as soon as I saw I had 3 clones active. As Continuum split runs out, I use Well of Gravity and prepare to repeat the same skill rotations again. Greatsword 4, both wells, Signet of Ether, Greatsword 4 again, skill 2 and skill 3. Once again, I used F1 and F2 as I've noticed 3 clones up. We then swap to Dagger and follow the simple skill order. Sword 5, Dagger 2 and then Dagger 3. We auto attack or use any utility skills until Dagger 2 is ready again. We auto attack and then finish off with Sword 5, Dagger 3 and Dagger 2. We now swap to Greatsword and follow our simple skill order there. Greatsword 4, 2 and 3. Auto attacks or utility skills until we can use skill 2 again. When Greatsword 4 is almost off of cooldown, we use Greatsword 5 to trigger the Relic of Firework. This can be skipped if you're not using the relic. Greatsword 3, Greatsword 4, Signet of the Ether, 4 again, 2, and then we swap back to Dagger and repeat. We keep following this basic skill order for each weapon set. Sword 5, Dagger 2, 3, 2 again when it's ready, Sword 5, Dagger 3, Dagger 2, and then swap to Greatsword. Greatsword 4, 2, 3, 2 again when it's ready, 5, 3, Greatsword 4, Signet, Greatsword 4, 2, and then back to Dagger. When Continuum Split comes off of cooldown again, usually we want to save it for when we start a new phase in raids, in which case we start again from the beginning. For fights with no phases, such as the practice golem here, we use the second Continuum Split to use our highest damaging skills in our available weapon set as to not ruin the flow. I used the second Continuum Split here to use all of my highest damaging skills on Dagger and Sword. Again, this is highly situational and is usually saved for the start of a new phase. I'll show this from the start to finish again at full speed. Try to follow along and predict what skills I'll be using next. That's it for this rotation guide. If you liked it, feel free to like or subscribe. Build and benchmark links will be in the description, and if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask in the comment section below. Thanks again, and I'll see you all next time.